On the playlist this week, the musical tale of the ugly duckling, syndicated cartoonist Chris Monroe, and musical guest Cars and Trucks. It's going to be a good one.
Funding for the playlist is provided by the citizens of Minnesota through the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund.
Welcome to the playlist. Some people really know how to draw the best out of people. Our first guest tonight excels at it, especially when it comes to the stage. Please welcome Cheryl Kramer-Milder. Thank you so much, the County Seat Theater in Cloquet.
Yes, I'm ready to talk about it, Karen.
Excellent. Well, you've been doing great work, and apparently other people have noticed as well. Arrowhead Regional Arts Council recently awarded Cheryl the Maddie Simons Arts Advocate Award. Congratulations on that.
Thank you, thank you. That was a really nice surprise. I'm really thrilled about that.
I think they had a hard time deciding whether they should award you for being a director, an actor, or an advocate, and they ended up with advocate, and you're fantastic at it.
Well, I really, there are so many deserving people for an award like that, and you never go into anything that you love expecting to win an award, or you'll wait a long time. So it was just a very nice surprise. They come along a few times, and you're lucky.
Well, you deserve it.
Thank you.
And if you would, kind of fill us in a little bit about your journey in community theater. What made you start such a cool program in Cloquet?
Well, you know, Karen, I was just one of those little girls that wanted to be an actress. Growing up on a farm in Nebraska, and of course you're never going to realize a dream like that, but I was a young married woman, and the town that I lived in Nebraska, Weeping Water, Nebraska, was just forming a community theater in a barn that they were renovating, so I was involved in that project. Circumstances in my life made me move up and down the Midwest a little bit, and everywhere I was involved in community theater. When I landed in Cloquet, my children were old enough to be in the high school plays, and I started helping direct those, and then pretty soon the community theater was born as a band booster fundraiser in Carlton.
They told me your first stage wasn't exactly palatial.
Well, no, Carlton's school has a stage in the side of the gymnasium, like so many schools do. But we've got our atmosphere now after all these years. It's been 23 years since we started there.
And your home now
is at the Encore Performing Arts Center and Gallery. Very important. It's in Cloquet. We're starting our third season there. But we've been in 3 locations. We were at Carlton High School for 13 years, and now you're going to check my math here, but
promise I won't.
And then at the Old Country Church out in rural Carlton County. That's where we really got a big following. That was so unique and beautiful out there. But we were having growing pains there, and then we found this building to renovate in Cloquet, and it was a huge project. But gosh, we have all these people that are wanting to do it.
It tells me you're doing more than one thing right, Cheryl.
I think
fantastic.
So.
Yeah, and we're tickled to have you here tonight because I know you are missing rehearsal.
I am. I walked right out.
And that is confidence in your fantastic cast.
Oh,
that's out
I've
there.
got other directors, Regina Romehilt, Chris Nelson, and Mindy Millennius, who are carrying on very well. Probably they'll change everything now that I'm gone. That would be great.
Now wait a minute. With Cheryl's permission, I promise we got permission first. We were lucky enough to get a chance to meet her cast during rehearsal earlier this week, and I think it was the first day with the live band, and it was just so much fun to feel that energy. So take a look at HONK in process.
It's a poetry tale of folk down on the farm.
It starts out in a barnyard of all places. They look around, there's this giant egg there, and of course everybody else goes, ah, screams, something's wrong, it's got to be a turkey. Everything is blamed on me.
HONK!
Well, he doesn't really have a name. Everybody just calls him Ugly, so the name just kind of sticks, and that's what he tells everybody, that his name is Ugly. Oh, man, you don't feel good about yourself if you're called Ugly, that's for sure.
I play the cat. Pretty much he's hungry for the duckling, the ugly duckling, and I'm trying to play it more on the evil side. Not really evil, he's just misguided.
I am pretty much a scared turkey who's very, very afraid of Thanksgiving, as most turkeys are, as you would expect.
Don't be thinking that this is the whole world. It spreads out far beyond the lake to the churchyard.
It's fun to see like the different variety of age groups and how like each one, how you get to watch how they progress with their characters and stuff like that.
A couple of the kids on stage now are kids that I even directed as in children's theater that are now performing and filling out some of our adult roles, and it's so fun to see them.
I'm your dad.
I just love theater. It's just something I really enjoy doing. I've been doing it ever since I was little, and I can't think of doing anything else when I get older.
The singing and the dancing and the acting ability of these people is wonderful.
It's a poultry tale of folk down on the farm.
The triple threat, the acting, dancing, singing part, is so much more fun than just regular drama and acting because there's so much more going on. It's lively, energetic, and definitely a family-filled one. Might have a little scary moments at times due to me, but other than that, I would say it's great family fun, yeah.
It's such a fun play that adults will enjoy it more than the kids will because it's very clever. The author of this thing had a sense of humor, and you'll enjoy it if you listen carefully. It's very clever.
It is just a ton of fun to watch that. And this, I know, we were 2 weeks before opening night. Things are changing already.
Yes, we've progressed even from when you were with us Monday night. That was really fun to see. Thank you. Yeah. It looks good.
Yeah, well, as the director, do you ever get to just sit and relax and watch, or when does that happen?
Not yet. But I am amazed at the color of this show. I spent a lot of time on the set and the costumes, and I think they all complement each other. And now with John Justed's lights, it's going to be incredible. It really is.
Now, they did tell me you were a little bit of a taskmaster as far as being very precise about the details.
I do.
How much does that matter?
A lot. I dwell on the detail, and in a musical, so much time is spent on just learning the music and learning the dance. And I want to get into grabbing those actors and say, what's the bond between the mother and Ugly? And it's got to show the detail of every button on their dress. I mean, it's worth it. It's worth it.
What impressed me too was the commitment that each of those actors put into it. It's not like, okay, I'll just show up for a weekend and call it good.
No. We put aside 9 weeks to rehearse this thing. That is a huge commitment for anyone. The beauty of being in a show like this, though, is that you have those severe 9 weeks of huge devotion, and then you get the rewards with the 2 weeks of performance, and then you get to hang on to the memory of that. It's not like you've signed up for a year or 3 years on a board or something like that. This is great fun, great intensity, and then you're done.
kind of immediate gratification when people respond to it.
When they're there, yes, and we're really looking forward to that first audience. I think we're getting close.
Now, you're telling me that the band has been, you're trying to figure out how to balance the singing with the band and trying to get that to sing too.
We're solving that problem. When we did our first musical at this new location, we had the band in another spot, and they were a little too close to the audience, I feel. We were always trying to soften them. Band members know all about that. We've got them on stage this time, and they're sort of hid in the weeds, and they're all plugged in. Just about everybody's plugged in except for like the flute, clarinet, and we can control that volume, and I think we'll be able to find that balance really quickly. Now they're all practicing right now, the full band again tonight, and seeing what they can do.
And how many people in that band, and how many in that cast?
There are 6 and 22 in the cast. Multiple costume changes.
So what can audiences expect?
They can expect beautiful music, very meaningful story with a wonderful message. That's what I don't want anybody to miss. It's the message that's there. And the color will just knock you over, I think.
That's cool. Okay, so where and when?
We are at the Encore Performing Arts Center and Gallery, which is just on a little frontage road right by the big intersection when you come into Cloquet at exit 237.
Okay.
And we open on the 23rd. I have to check. It's the 23rd, April 23rd. And we go that weekend then, and then the following week it's Wednesday through Sunday, so and ending on May 2nd.
Okay, with a grand finale?
Yes, and if this could just be successful enough, let's just add another performance. How about that?
Excellent. Well, I know you're going to have a great run.
That would be the best.
Well, congratulations on getting this far, and have a great opening night.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Karen.
Yeah, thank you for sharing the
been
journey.
great.
That's very cool. Now, again, the dates of HONK opens April 23rd and runs through May 2nd. And you know, there are great arts opportunities all over, everywhere. They're poised to entertain, inspire, and challenge you. Now, for proof, here's this week's art commercials.
We are setting up for a 6-week exhibition at the Johnson Heritage Post here in Grand Marais. And the title of the show is called A Portrait of Cook County Furniture Makers Out in the Shop. And we have 9 furniture makers who are putting their work on display here at the Johnson Heritage Post. A lot of these people don't consider themselves artists, although their work is really aesthetically beautiful and a treat to look at. This is a piece from Dean Einwalter. He works exclusively with recycled, salvaged barn wood. These two particularly are done by Paul McFarland, who operates Kimball Creek Woodworks in Cook County. And then there's other artists in the community that are into furniture, real expressive artists. There's a person in the county who considers himself more of an artist but participating in the furniture show.
Well, it's Monday night and it's at Carmody's, and I play here every week. Usually starting around 9 o'clock, going until like midnight, 1 o'clock, and it's a great place to come on down. It's a nice warm ambient space, and they have great beer.
The music scene in the Northland is rich and varied. Our musical guests tonight crank up the volume. Please welcome Cars and Trucks. Fantastic, you guys. Okay, that's the most fun I've ever seen the Grim Reaper have. That
Grim
is
Reaper?
Yeah.
What are you talking
look
about,
at-
Karen?
Well, he's got a big smile on his face.
I'm not seeing any Grim Reaper.
Okay, the name of the song,
That's called We're All Gonna Die.
and tell me where that song inspired.
Karen, it's a lighthearted pop song about mortality. And it's kind of, our new album is called Mere Mortals, and it's sort of about mortality in a lot of different aspects, and it's kind of like the flagship song of the album, I think.
Fantastic. And we are all going to die, so aptly.
Yeah, it's kind of, we're sort of trying to address it lightheartedly, I guess.
Okay. Will you introduce your band?
Yes, this is Matt Milinkovich. This is Matt Osterland. And 2 Matts are better than 1.
So tell me a little bit about the background of you guys. Did you start out with Cars and Trucks? What's your background?
We've played in a lot of different bands in Duluth and Minneapolis over the years. He and I were in a band called the Dames. They were in a band called Words to Film Score, Farewell Tour. We've been around. We've been around the block a few times.
So how is Cars and Trucks different than what you've done?
It's more song oriented, I guess. It's more of a melodic kind of thing. I think it's probably exploring those more Beatlesque kind of influences, I suppose.
Okay. Now you are the songwriter, Tony.
I guess,
Correct?
yeah. I mean,
Yes.
I bring in the eggs of the songs and we make them into omelets. Okay. Why did I just say that? That's the first time I've ever said he's the bacon.
I think you'll be quoted on that from here on in. Okay, so describe the sound.
All manner of rock, pop rock, hard rock, soft rock, no jazz rock, no.
But there's room in here for some different
Sure, I mean, we
vibes.
like, we're rock and rollers, I guess, and that's kind of, that's what we're doing.
Okay. You handed me some lovely CDs. Tell me about this project.
That's the new album. That's the Mere Mortals album. Available at your friendly neighborhood. Well, I guess it's just the Electric Fetus these days. Record stores are disappearing, so the Electric Fetus is still around, and they're selling it, and we're selling it at shows. And
Okay. And where was it recorded? When did this come out?
we recorded it with a guy named Rich Mattson up in Sparta, Minnesota. He's a local luminary and did a good job.
Yeah, fantastic. Okay, last question is really a tough one. Where can we hear you guys next?
We're playing at this at a fundraiser at Mr. D's in West Duluth this Saturday. It's Live to Play. It's a fundraiser in honor of a classmate of mine who passed away, and it's raising money for local hockey and music, and it's a good cause. And we're playing with a bunch of other bands, and should be a good fun time.
Yeah, and you guys are almost. I would say you're headlining personally.
Oh, I don't know about that.
I'd say-
We're in the middle somewhere.
Okay,
We're like the meat in the sandwich, I think, at
There's
that show.
You got great company.
Another food reference. Why am I doing this?
I think he's hungry. We get to hear a little bit more from Cars and Trucks before this show is over, and that's right after our artist profile. Now, Chris Monroe is the creator of Violet Days cartoon strip and an author and an illustrator. In each case, she applies her unique lens to common experiences with humor and grace.
This one has some lepers and a mythical giant goat, and then it's got Brad Pitt too, so none of the regulars really, but probably the type of character that could be expected in a Violet Days strip. I'd been veering away from some of the traditional things that I've stuck to over the years. So I don't want to look like I'm just resting on my laurels. This is the beverage history examined, and this has some historical facts about chocolate milk, lemonade, beer, bath water, and Pepsi. Because Pepsi was originally called Brad's drink, which I didn't realize that. That would have changed a lot of things. You know, I rarely think about audience because if I do, it starts to boggle my mind. So I generally just try to go with what I think is funny, what interests me. Usually it's just something that clicks during the week, and I do take notes during the week if I get any ideas. If I'm short on ideas, that's a problem, because sometimes I'm sitting there, 20 12 hours before deadline, just like, I have no idea. I'm not funny. I have nothing to say. But you know, every time that happens where I think, oh, this thing is just, you know, knocked out, somebody will comment that they like that one. So there's no explaining taste, I guess. I always work in pencil first and lay it out and try to make my revisions before I have to use whiteout or anything like that. It is difficult to compress an idea down into, and actually it's only 5 panels because the first one is just a title. So yeah, that's the hardest part. I know I make it look easy, but it's kind of complex sometimes. Someone criticized me one time for being a watcher. Like, you sit back and watch. And it's like, I think it's just part of my nature. That's part of the reason I can do this comic, is because I'm constantly watching. But, you know, it's just my interpretation. I've been happy that people have thought it was funny. And it's certainly been around a while now. And I haven't really done it for the money, so I guess I'm sort of in it for the love of doing it.
Now, Chris has some of her artwork at the Washington Studio Galleries in Duluth throughout the weekend, and along with the work of 11 other artists, it's definitely worth a look. And now I'd like to introduce the Playlist Gallery. Now, every week we'll feature various artists from local areas and the galleries around town in the region. And this week we've got 4 artists from different folks: Terry Milliken, Dorian Ballou, and Rob Glibbery from Duluth here, and Robin Murphy from Bayfield. So we want to say a special thank you to Jeff at Lizards Art Gallery and Framing for curating our gallery for us this week. He does an awesome job. Thank you, Jeff. Now, for more about the playlist, visit us online at theplaylistonline.org. You can also join us on Facebook or follow along on Twitter. And if you miss a show, our programs are currently part of WDSE's playlist channel on YouTube. We'll leave you with a little more from Cars and Trucks. So everybody have a great weekend. Put something good on your playlist and go out and support an artist.
Love is just a game and I should quit while I'm ahead. Now we wave goodbye. I'll cry while you drive. We all get lost at times.
Funding for the playlist is provided by the citizens of Minnesota through the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund and by viewers like you.